Hey guys, it's Sunday afternoon and I get real bad cabin fever on Sunday because I don't hunt and fish unless I'm like recovering an animal that I shot on Saturday night. So what I'm going to do today, because of the cabin fever and I can't just stand sitting around, is take these two rods and turn them into a single rod. This rod is a solid fiberglass blank, and what you do with them is just sand the tip down to give you a really fine feel. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take this rod, try and get the handle off of it. I might end up cutting it here, cut the eyelets off, and I'm also going to flip it and put the eyelets on the underside so that it becomes a spinning style rod instead of a bait casting style rod. You can see this rod, my panfish rod, is a really like slow action, or is a slow action. It's really ultralight and very slow. So when I catch a bigger fish on it, like a trout or a bass, it tends to like double this rod. Even a big like 13-inch perch, a lot of days I feel like I'm gonna break it, and I don't want that to happen. So I want a rod that's got a little more backbone, that has a light tip on it. And then I like using this, it's just an eagle claw, doesn't even say what it is, vertical reel, so that the line comes off it straight. It eliminates line twist. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do today. While I'm tearing everything down and getting ready to sand, I'm going to play for you guys a couple fishing clips that don't exactly fit into any of our videos. A lot of days we go out and we'll only catch one or two fish. So I'm going to throw those in right here rather than make you watch me do all the monotony of like stripping paint, cutting eyelets off and all that stuff. But when I get ready to reassemble the rod, do the sanding and stuff, I'll bring it back to me and we'll go through that whole process together. So stay tuned. I hope you guys like these clips, and I'll see you when they're done. Thanks.
No, you're good. Reel down on him a little. Here, you're getting assistance.
Ooh, that's a nice one. Beautiful fish. He is playing for a minute. I can see the lure, so you're not hooked up that way. He's a fatty.
I love that sound.
I'm gonna put my arm away for a minute. He's a big one.
You see him from there?
Yeah. Wait, I can't see him from here, but
I could see him a minute ago before he ran.
Yeah, he was big.
he's way gone.
Just bending your little rod a little.
Just keeping an eye on the other rods.
Of course. Hey, do you want to like curl it into the rod holder?
How much
Do you know what I mean?
on leader?
Oh, probably only like 2 feet. Yeah.
Oh, no, he don't want to come up yet. Whoa, that's a beautiful fish.
Oh, I thought Tyler was going for a different rod.
Dude, he's a
Oh,
fatty.
dude, that's a nice one.
Just be careful in case it flips out.
So it doesn't get like pulled out, right?
Yeah, because I've lost some rods before. Oh, geez.
That's, you might want to
Praying
pull
that-
out.
Yeah.
Celsius
Sorry,
rod.
Janessa, I lied.
If he's going to run that much.
Yeah, we don't want tangle.
Oh, he's out there, down
What
somewhere.
are you
Yeah.
fishing with?
This is a spoon of some sort.
Do we need to pull this one up too?
He's running this way with it.
Oh, okay.
It'll go off if he runs through it.
I know.
Yeah, we'll know.
No pressure, honey.
That's when things go bad.
Yes, as long as you don't catch a hook this time.
To the face?
Yeah.
Don't throw your rod.
Yeah.
Lesson learned.
But is it ever really?
I was angry, okay? I had a right to be. That was a big fish.
Well, I guarantee if you lose this one.
And it was my fault.
Didn't your line break on that one?
No, that was the one that...
It was a deep
It was
creek
just
when-
running with my drag.
Oh.
And I thought I was still set up for panfish or something, so I gave it one click and it snapped.
Yeah.
I was not a happy camper.
Is he getting
We're
close
fishing,
again?
Nah. Well, kind of.
See it? Can you see it?
Nah. He's wrapped around. He's like over here.
You got jaw jackers out now, so we'll hear them if they go off.
He has jaw jackers.
You don't.
Here he is.
Whoa, he's wrapped up.
Dude. Oh my gosh.
I tickled him a little too much.
So big.
He's on again.
Oh, this is fun.
It's cold. Holy shoot. Dude, put away your ciggies. We're on the ice.
What? Oh, yeah, no kidding.
Those are palm-alls, too. Come on.
Palm on. Carson's got it down by scent.
He
Actually,
does.
No, those might be camels.
Dude,
It's kind of hard to tell.
Carson's
right now.
motto, if you're gonna smoke, you might as well smoke the
Yeah, if
expensive
you're gonna
stuff.
smoke them, you better smoke the nice ones.
oh, get it, Carson. Dude.
Oh, that's a big old fish.
Get out of here. Nice. See you, keeper?
I don't want to keep any. Does anybody else?
No.
Well, you better keep them on the ice, because there's
We
like
should keep
50 of
some
us,
and
so.
do a smoke.
Yeah, you can smoke
You know when
some
we
of
want
those
to smoke a
critters.
smaller one though? I don't know. Grab your tape and measure them.
Cold.
Did he get a Traeger for Christmas or something?
We got a Traeger
Oh.
from my parents.
Dude.
Look at that thing.
I take it you're keeping this one?
I wasn't thinking so, but somebody said we were going to smoke them.
Well, we can
We got
If
a
you-
Traeger.
if you want to keep him.
Hey,
That's
Nessa?
it. We're just wiping off all of his
Or
slime
Carson,
coat.
somebody grab a phone out of my pocket here. Top pocket, sorry.
Top. Oh.
111816.
Oh, now the whole world knows.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, that's
Mute-
your- is
mute that
your
on YouTube.
anniversary? I got it.
Camera. Beauty.
Tyler, I hope you have more memory cards.
Bucket.
Levi always has the tape.
Yeah, I think
Let's start making
Here,
guesses.
let's do it.
I say he goes 23.
Clean him up.
23 and an 8.
Yeah, he's every bit of 23.
You think so?
Yeah.
Got some girth on him.
Yeah.
Well, that one I caught at Treasurton 2 years ago was 23 and thin, so.
Yeah.
I think I just need to sit down and fish.
Tyler, I don't even know if this thing's focused.
Someone want to hold it up for me?
21.
21?
22 if you pinch that tail
Pinch the
down.
tail.
I guess if you lift him up, get him flatter.
You get the front, I'll get the back here.
On the jaw or on the
Yeah, on
nose?
the bottom of the jaw.
Oh, right there.
Touching 23 there.
Nice.
Fish.
Okay, so we're back. I hope you guys enjoyed those clips. And now we have this rod blank now. You can see that it's solid fiberglass. There's a tip for you. So what I took off this rod was these three eyelets, and there got ceramic in the middle. And then this one just caps over the end, and you can see the end on that one is pretty big. And then these ones, these 6 here are the ones that came off of the smaller rod. And then there's the I don't know if you can see a size difference there, but how fine the end is that goes into this one versus this one. So I'm going to use this. I used some emery cloth already here to sand the butt flat. It had some jagged edges from cutting it off. But I'm just going to take off a new piece of emery. And I don't know if this is the right way or the wrong way, but it's the way that I'm going to do. And I am going to just lay the tip over the edge of the table here. And then just roll back and forth. I'm going to break this up and so it's nice and soft. And then I'm just going to roll it through the emery. And the idea of rolling it is to keep it cylindrical, very cylindrical. And then I'll work that back down the spine to, oh, I don't know, I'll use some tape here to mark it. Maybe about 9 inches or so. And I'll work it back there so that the spine can be or it can be a lighter action here at the front end, and then it'll have the backbone along the length of this rod here. So I'm just going to cut to when I'm done with sanding this. So what I'm going to do now is take that bevel and smooth it out along the blank. That'll help make this tip even more sensitive, but as you can see right now, it's not extremely sensitive. When I add the eyelets and stuff, that should help it to be more sensitive. I thought it would be more sensitive than it is now, but as you can see, like, it's got a lot lighter tip than the rest of the blank here is still bent. So yep, just making progress. Thought I'd check in with you, so stay tuned. Right there you can see I wrapped little elastic bands from my daughter's hair. I just wrapped and wrapped and wrapped, and then I slid the eyelets down inside them all the way down the blank. So now what I'm going to do is tape the reel onto the blank, and I'm going to load the rod and just make sure that it will handle what I want it to handle. I'm going to tape that eyelet down too. So, but yeah, I'm going to tape it on, run a line through the eyelets, and then load it up. So we'll see how it goes. All right, so I'm going to continue, excuse me, my rod build here. I got a handle for it. I took a bunch of plexiglass or Lexan. I glued it together with PVC glue, and then I just drilled a hole right down the middle. It wasn't perfectly straight, but I've managed to get the rod blank out of it pretty well. And then I've just taped, maybe you can see I've just taken some masking tape. God, that's terrible focusing on my face. And taped the eyelets in their respective places, and then the top ones been epoxied on. So what I want to show you here, you're gonna get a nice little look at my crotch, but is this technique that I learned for wrapping guides on a different YouTube channel. Is you take your thread that you're using, whatever it may be, I don't even know if you can see that there, and you wrap it 3 times. You put it inside a Tupperware, but you wrap it 3 times around your leg, and then you're supposed to sit on it to create tension. And then you start wrapping, and you hold it up high, and then you just wrap the rod blank downwards. I'm going to make sure that all my eyelets are still lined up like I want them to be, and then I'll get to wrapping. Okay, so I have them all tied up. It's really hard to see. Sorry, my white balance on the camera's off. Maybe my focus, there we go. And then this top one's just epoxy. So I'm gonna go ahead and epoxy all the threads on all of these. That's the best one you can see. And then let it sit overnight, and tomorrow morning we are gonna go try and catch some walleye. Alright, so I don't think either of those catches were on film. I just caught a perch and a bass. I caught the perch right on the bottom, and that let me know that there's kind of some fish in the area, bait fish at least. And so the next cast, I guess you could call it, the next drop I guess it is, I came up off the bottom, 3 reels, and I caught a bass. And I was showing the tip here of the rod and how it flexes. Okay, there we go. There's another little perch. But you can see the bend in the rod there. That helps keep the fish pinned. And then the backbone, just another little perch. It helps to power them in. Boy, he wanted that maggot. So I'm going to try, like I said, I'm going to try again and try and get a bigger fish. So that you can really see the bend in that rod when I'm working on a bigger fish. The bass I caught was about twice the size of that perch. I came in, so I was fishing just over here off there's another one. So you can see, oh, this is a little better fish. You can see the bend there in the rod. Quit fighting me. It's probably another perch. Yep, but quite a bit better perch. So I was fishing just over here. There's a break line where the willows come into the water. And I think I was too high on the break, so I came into the middle of the basin where the willows are growing on the side here. I'm in about 22 feet of water. There's another one. It's another perch. But you can see, I don't know if you guys can see, but the rod tip is sensitive enough that even when those little perch hit it, it'll give a dip there. There we go. You can see that bend on it. I'm pretty happy with this rod now that I'm actually getting into some fish. I went for 4 trips after I built it and never caught one. And so I couldn't really see how it would perform. And it was frustrating. First of all, because I built a rod and I felt like it gave myself bad juju. And then secondly, it really stinks when you're in a slump and you don't catch anything, so. Oh, another detail about this whole setup is not only did I build the handle, did I sand the blank down myself, but the jig that I'm using is a chandelier jig, and I also built it. Oh, there's a better fish, I think. Yeah, this looks like it might be another bass. So you can see the bend on that rod there. Oh, much better. And it helps keep him pinned there, and the backbone will help you set the hook on them bigger fish. This might be about the same size as the last bass I caught. Yep. About the same size. But it doesn't totally double over my rod anymore, which really gets me excited for that. So there we go. One more fish and I gotta take off. So I'm hoping to catch a big bluegill or maybe a big crappie. I know they're in here, but you never know if you're gonna really get into them. Where we're into the bass and the perch, I really would like to think that there's crappie and bluegill in the area. So there's another bass. Oh, this might be an even better one. Oh goodness. Yeah. So you can see the rod bend on there. This is a much better bass. So I use 6-pound test on my ice fishing reels if it's mono or fluorocarbon. And I use 4 if it's braided, because the braid is a lot stronger than what the test reads, I feel like. Oh man, look at that bass. Yes. Oh my gosh, that's a 3-pounder all day. I haven't caught a bass this big all winter. At least 2 pounds. He may not go 3. I wish I had my coat on. I've got a scale, but check that sucker out. And you saw the action of the rod bending over. Good. Golly, he's chunky. He's just in here munching on them little baby perch. Oh my gosh. You guys, this is why I fish all together. Holy crap. That's the biggest bass I've landed through the ice ever. My son caught one this size last year in this same area. So I think for bass fishing through the ice, this is going to be my spot. However, at this lake, they have to be 20 inches or better to keep. And this is definitely not a 20-inch bass. So I'm going to get him back in the water, or her back in the water, so she can stay nice and healthy. And one day, hopefully, she'll be one of them 20-inchers. Guys, that's my rod build. This was fun, and at the same time, it was really frustrating, like I said, because I felt like I'd give myself some bad juju. But you could see the rod bend there. It helps keep them hooked for the bass. The backbone helps really get them. And I think for an all-around rod, this is going to be a great rod. It has fine enough tip that I can catch those little fish and see the hit. And it's got a stiff enough backbone and a good enough bend. It's not exactly perfect the way I wanted it, but it's got a good enough bend that it helps me catch them bigger fish. So thanks for watching, guys. Once again, if you're not subscribed to the channel, please go ahead and subscribe. It helps us grow. I think if I can find another solid fiberglass blank, and I'm gonna make another one. This was a lot of fun, guys. Thanks for watching.